Why does it
Richie's
have to
fault.
be like this? What?
It was definitely Richie.
It's definitely Richie's fault.
The Sharks.
Way overpaid.
What are they? The Wilkes-Barre Penguins? Not even the real Penguins? And the fucking Freddie Anderson Hurricanes?
That made me so sad.
Why does it have to be them?
Wraparound on Anderson, but then
it was so good. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Matthews knows he's doing great, and then nope. Forget about the second period again, guys. Don't worry about it. No, not important. We'll wait till the third, then we'll try, and then also not try. What in the fucking world is going on with this team? Somebody help me. Oh God. Game one.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I
the
saw
Post
that
didn't make the second round of the playoff slump, guys. This is pretty common.
What are you talking about? Past couple years, they're hot out the gate. Power play going 50%. Anderson sucks, but whatever. We'll make up for it with 1 million goals. Not this time.
Did Montreal ruin the Leafs? Did they break
I think
their
the Leafs
psyches?
ruin the Leafs.
Well, yeah, I guess this isn't anything new.
Or we ruin the Leafs. Maybe it's our fault again. Probably.
They listen to our podcast, don't they?
Specifically, Mitch Marner. Those fucking Leaf fans in
Right.
hostile lands, they got me again. Oh,
They got
my
real
God.
sad.
To be fair, we are nice
Real
to most of
sad.
the Leafs players.
We're so nice.
We are very nice.
That's the positive energy we're trying to put in the world for the Leafs, and they don't take it.
Sorry, Lilligren.
So upset. Did he play in that game? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw a
he
highlight
did.
where the
Yeah.
puck went off his skate and it went in the net.
And it went in our net. Yeah, exactly. He played for their team.
You know what?
played.
It seemed like there was a lot of those goals over the last week. There were some of those in the Sharks game.
Weird,
like
shitty goals that
things
should have
that-
been goals.
Yeah, either they were bouncing off legs or skates or somebody's ass going off the one guy's side into the net, and or Hutch was in net. And
Or Hutch was in net.
yeah, so it's basically like a fluke. The Leafs need to figure out something with this third goalie, because with Jack Campbell and Peter Mrazek, both who have a history of injuries in their career,
And Hutchison has an injury of sucking.
he's just a non-option at this point. He is a non-option. Like he had a few good games last year, but I'm starting to think that everybody was right and the North Division kind of sucked, because the Leafs
And we were just the
are
best
pretty
of
much
the
the same.
suckage.
Like it's the same defense core that we had last year that did really well. This year
Except
they
for
look like
Bogosian.
Yeah, but how many minutes did he play?
But
But they look like garbage. Like Riley doesn't
He
look good.
didn't play a lot of minutes, but he was the minutes he was on the ice, nobody
Big
was
minutes.
afraid.
Yeah.
When Sandy and Dermott are on the ice, I'm afraid.
okay, I don't fully agree though that the Leafs looked like garbage. The Leafs were getting a ton of shots most games. The penalty
What kind of
kill
shots
was
are they, though?
Okay.
These
well,
games?
and that's the fair point. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the Leafs were getting a lot of shots, but the
What are you
shots aren't
talking about? They got
quality
outshot
shots.
every single game, didn't they?
Yeah, but they're still getting right up there. They're matching them pretty closely. Like it's not
Okay,
like we're getting
31,
blown out,
33.
especially in 7-1. Like, you know, our penalty kill's doing well. Our power play is better than it was in the spring. It's not like they're playing badly.
Is it though? Wait, power
Well,
play.
no, overall they're not playing badly. Like they're
13%
playing badly
on the power
ice.
play.
They've scored a goal on the
13%.
power play. It's better
Yeah.
than the spring. Dan wasn't wrong. He wasn't lying.
Okay, fine. He
But
wasn't wrong, but
87.5% on the penalty kill. That's
okay,
solid.
that's good. And none of the players on the penalty kill are okay. That's a lie. Never mind. I was going to say are making over $9 million, but Marner's always on the penalty kill. Fine.
Nylander is now on the penalty kill. Has he been on the
Nylander's
penalty
now
kill?
on the.
Yeah.
He was in the last game for sure,
Yeah.
but that was when they were already losing, and it was more. It was a penalty kill that was kind of a power play where they were. It was all offense at the very end of the Carolina game. So that's why they threw Nylander out there, because he's the shining light that we need, right behind Spezza. My God,
Yeah.
Guys, what's happening with him?
Spezza, the captain of the team and going to be GM and owner and love of my life.
I did see that he made a comment. I just saw it right before the podcast that he was saying that the team is not deterred by this losing streak. He says, it's not going to get us down. We know we're better than this. I know.
Lip
but
service. Lip service.
at least
What
he's
else do you
saying
say?
something. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, we're really shitty this year. You know, our lines aren't making sense, and Matthews was out, so we're fucked.
yeah.
Basically. But Okay, power play. And by the way, if you guys didn't know already, listeners, we usually have an outline. Our outline is just a bunch of fucking exclamation marks and question marks. But the power play. First couple games, because Matthews was out, Spezza was up on it. They have now taken him off and put him on the second power play. He is the, if not the second best player on the ice all the time. Why is he not back up on the power play, the first power play? Like, take out any of the bajillion $1 million making players. Take out Riley to go 5D or 5 offense.
5 offense.
Honestly, yeah, just shove him in front of the net. He scored so many goals just digging around in there. Like, just throw him in front of the net. Who's playing net front now? Doesn't matter. It's Jason Spezza.
Yeah. Just please put the good people in good positions. Now, I do think they did that with the line shakeup for Game 3. And I'm going to just read them out quickly so people have an idea. Before, it was Ritchie, Matthews, Marner. Matthews, Marner, great. However, their slump from the playoffs is continuing. So something needs to change, and thank God Keefe the Chief changed things. First line was now Bunting, Matthews, Nylander. Nice to see Matthews, Nylander back together. Nylander, he looks great, even in this crappy time. Like, he's always fighting for the puck. He's shooting with, like, purpose, and maybe that'll brush off onto Matthews. And Bunting is Hyman. It's wonderful. He just digs all the time, and I love watching him play. And he goes back with a big smile on his face, like, ha, I did that. You know, that also offensive zone time, the bajillion amount of offensive zone time we have, that's my fault.
That's the other thing that bugs me. So much time. Sorry.
Yeah. Second line, Kerfoot, Tavares, Marner. I got no problem with that. Speed on the wings, Tavares, the best player on the ice. Or Spezza. It's Tavares. Oh, my God. I've never seen a player work so hard. He's getting every single puck. He looks like Crosby out there almost, which is great because he hasn't looked like that since he was a little younger with the Islanders. Third line, Engvall, Kampf, Kasha. No problem with that. Shutdown-ish line. Kampf is playing his role to a T. What a great guy. Ritchie, Spezza, Simmons. Ritchie can eat it. How much money do you make? What on
Richie,
earth
2.5?
are we paying you for? 2.5 for 2 years? You make more than Kampf? Boo. You make more than Bunting? Boo.
Mm-hmm.
More than Spezza? Okay, that's Spezza's fault, not your fault. But
I think Richie's got about 10 more games, and then there's going to be $1.5 million on a cap hit, and the rest of it's going to be in the minors.
Oh, that's what we need.
or
That's what we need on the cap.
Or they send a message and trade him for a 7th.
I guess so. Arizona.
To
hey.
anybody. Who's buying? Yeah.
Arizona, I guess.
Arizona. Go have fun with Gelch.
Yeah,
Anaheim. Go back there.
They'll have to send over another draft pick for them to take Ritchie, though, for a 7th.
Mm-hmm. One of those Gostisbehere trades where they trade Gostisbehere for nothing.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Marlowe trade.
That one, too.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I think we got
please
6
take
for
this
that,
cap
at least.
hit.
Yeah.
I'm. It's still too soon to completely write off Nick Ritchie, but what I've seen over the first 8 games so far has not been
7.
good. 7? Yeah, it hasn't been good. He hasn't been noticeable unless he's doing something stupid.
Good point, Craig.
I'm not really seeing anything in his game that he's contributing. Like, he's not really driving to the net all that hard. He's not getting in front of the goalie. I don't really see what he's doing.
I don't think I've seen him win a puck battle yet.
No.
He's not taking shots.
You see the size of that guy?
He
looks like Freddie Gauthier, but bigger.
And slower.
And slower.
Yeah. At least Freddie Gauthier tried.
Sometimes. Wasn't on the playoff team that lost last year. He has no baggage that some of these other players have. If that's what the problem is, fine. A little bit fine. But Ritchie has no baggage. Bunting plays like he has no baggage. Kampf plays like he has no baggage. What's the deal, man? Dan, you got anything on Ritchie?
He's not been fun to watch. Like, he's not taking the shots he needs. He's got one of the lowest shot totals in the team so far. He's not doing anything spectacular. He's not winning puck battles. He's turning it. Oh man, the turnovers this year. Oh my god, it's like we're back to
The
3 years ago or something. Like it's
the
brutal out
turnovers
there.
remind
So,
me of the Randy Carlisle Leafs. To go back that
Yeah.
far, that's what it reminds me of. Trying to push
Yeah,
the
it's-
offense, trying to get ahead of the puck. They're playing ahead of the puck. That's the problem. That's why we're seeing so many 2-on-1s going back the other direction. That's why
Oh,
we're
you mean
seeing,
Riley?
Yes, all of them though.
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's fair.
You see it with Muzzin and Hall. We're seeing it a lot with Sandin, and I actually feel pretty bad for Sandin in that last game, that one pack battle he lost on the 1-on-1, where the two of them kind of got tangled together, and the guy still came out with the puck and scored. Reminded me a lot of
Okay.
the Paul Byron goal from the playoffs. Same thing. Like
Yeah.
it seemed like he had the guy tied up, and all of a sudden, just somehow he slips out and the puck's in the net.
Okay, do we put that one on Sandine or Campbell or bad luck?
I would put it on the determination of the Carolina player. Like he kept trying. He didn't give up. Maybe Campbell should have had that. Sure. It was a pretty quick shot. Maybe Sandine should have had him, but it looked like he had him until the very last second. Again, same thing
If
with
it
that
was-
Byron goal.
Lawrence's will that won the battle, then it's Sandine's fault that he didn't have as much will.
Yeah.
I'd say. And I see that from Sandine relatively consistently. And I think he's taken on the Leafs mantra of it's in your head, buddy. Just
Yeah.
play your game. Get out there. Maybe. I don't know.
Again, he is still pretty young.
Dan, you did a good segue to the defense because we've talked about the offense for a little bit here. Wow, this is the fastest podcast ever because I am so riled up and I. Riley, sometimes Hall, sometimes both Dermott and Sandine because they're both offensive defensemen. They are pinching too much, like way too much. Stop. Be defensemen. We have a bajillion $1 million on offense. Let them do the thing. You know what I saw a couple times in the Carolina game? Matthews being a better defenseman than the defenseman.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Fine. The center has more defensive responsibility. More. Not all. Not more than a defense man. He can't make up for all the mistakes on both ends of the ice. He is fighting so hard, and it's just
He
not
looks like
clicking.
he's trying. Matthews is
Yeah,
the
it's just
only
not-
one who consistently looks like he gives a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
Other than the other two
And Spezza.
wonderful humans that I said
Uh,
before.
Yeah,
Yes.
fair.
Sorry, Tavares and Spezza, but
Yeah, Tavares and Spence.
On top of that, do any of these defensemen know how to handle a 2-on-1 when it happens? Not only is all this pinching causing 2-on-1s and way too many, but they're going to happen in real hockey anyway. Does anyone know how to handle it? It looks like the indecision is insane. Do I go for the shooter? Do I go for the passer? Do I just and you do nothing and then there's a goal?
We're especially seeing that from Hall right now. He just does not seem like he. You know where he seems most comfortable right now? In the offensive zone. He's playing really well there. He's bringing it back to he's getting it back at the point. He's able to keep it in. He's making those reaches to get it to keep it in the zone. But then you get it back into the defensive zone, and it's like, oh, what's hockey? It's kind of driving me crazy. Like his plus minus is -6 right now. There's only one other player on the team that's got a lower plus minus. Anyone want to guess?
Riley.
You're gonna be sad because I like this guy.
I was gonna say Dermott. maybe?
Brody? No.
It's Muzzin.
Well, that makes sense.
That
'cause
makes sense.
they're-
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They're pairing.
Yeah, exactly. But, no, I think he's going to have to work with the trainer to get a little bit of, what's going on in these situations kind of thing.
I think we're asking the wrong question. I think the question is why the Leafs allow so many 2-on-1s. If they didn't
Yeah, that's
allow the
fair.
2-on-1s, then we don't have to worry about who is good at 2-on-1s because that's a situation you just should not be getting yourself into. Think, how often do the Leafs convert on a 2-on-1 to score? Almost never. They never
like-
get 2-on-1s. How
Oh,
often?
we don't get 2-on-1s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That never happens.
How often do the other teams leave a defenseman behind on his own like that? Never. We don't see it nearly as often. Last season, or maybe, geez, time is not a thing anymore. Could have been 2 years ago. Under Keefe, we were starting to see a bit more of that the possession compared to zone time. So if the puck was coming out of the zone, they would go back. The guys would back up, they would get the puck, they would move it over to the other side, and then they would try again, they would get back into the zone. Right now, with that pinching, is that if a puck takes a bounce off a leg, like we see with so many goals and so many different situations, takes one little bounce, it's past you, and then they're off for a 2-on-1. If you're playing on the right side of the puck and you're worrying more about possession and keeping the puck and then just taking that other shot, kind of like you'll see in the 3-on-3 overtimes. If they can do something more like that, then they're not going to leave those guys hanging, and we're not going to see nearly as many of these 2-on-1s, that we don't have to be worrying who's good on 2-on-1s, because Brody is the only one.
Brody is the only one.
Yes.
Muzzin is wonderful, but he seems a little sluggish. I've heard he might be injured. But
Oh, really?
I wouldn't be
That
surprised.
would make a little bit of sense, yeah.
there's like a nagging. It's a nagging. I don't think it's
Yeah.
something too serious, but he doesn't look like himself. The Muzzin Hall line doesn't look like
No.
any of its former
No,
self.
not at
It
all.
was the top line for a while there. And then Riley Brody is Riley the offenseman and forward. Offenseman? Is that a word? Doesn't matter.
Sure.
I already said it. It's in the world. And Brody, the hug that we all need, because again, I do not notice him out there until he makes an amazing defensive play. It's like, you're doing all the right things. Thank you.
Oh, I have
And then
one
I
quick
just notice
question.
all the mistakes.
When did he shave? That's how little I noticed
He
him.
shaved. He shaved?
Yeah, I noticed the other day he didn't have a beard.
Okay. All
That's
right.
how much we
I'll
notice
Get rid of
him.
that playoff
Cool.
beard.
Yeah, you don't need that anymore.
Don't need that playoff beard anymore, yeah. Oh, my God. I'm looking at all my ranting that I still have here. Oh, what is the deal with these goalies standing on their heads against the Leafs? Is it the goalies standing?
Are they?
Is Aiden Hill standing on his head. Tristan Jarry standing on his head. Our good friend, Freddie
Nailed it.
Anderson,
Nailed it.
standing on his head. Other than the Matthews goal, Matthews tried it again, and Anderson was like, "Not this time, bitch." And it's nothing. Is it the goalies or is it the Leafs?
See, I think it's the Leafs. I think it's a lack of
yeah.
confidence. I think it's a lack of being in the right position at the right time. One of the players that's consistently in the right position is Spezza, and Tavares, and other than that, everyone seems to get pulled out of position. I don't know where the hell Marner is half the time. I think the Leafs need to get their confidence back. I mean, their first loss against Ottawa, that's kind of where I saw things flip for them. Obviously, Montreal, that win was needed, and they came out really well. But even then, they kind of looked shaky for a bit. And then you got the win against Ottawa, or the loss against Ottawa, and that kind of was the start of the decline. Even in their win against Ottawa, I wasn't convinced that this is the Leafs of the last season that we were watching.
Think back to the Leafs' last 5 goals this week. What do you think was the total distance, if you add up all those goals, that they were scored away from the net? It had to be
7 feet.
Had to be less than 10. Like,
Yeah.
Matthew scores right with that wraparound. Spezza right at the goal with the scramble. Spezza again with the goal at the scramble. Kasha with the breakaway. That's where they're going to score the goals. And Keefe has been saying that. He said that last year. We are the worst team in the league at scoring net front goals. And look where they're scoring some goals now, is at the net front. If they can actually do what they
one
say,
per game. Oh, God.
if they can do what Keefe has been begging them to do, go to the net, play hard, jam at those pucks. That's why we've got Ritchie, apparently. Bunting has been doing it. Tavares has always been good at that, but they need to be able to get into the zone and get him in there. And
You know who's really not good at that? Marner.
Marner, no. Yep.
He is
And a few
never
years ago-
seen the blue paint.
No.
Did you guys see the interview with him after the last game?
I did not. Please.
Or sorry,
inform me.
maybe it was after the 7-1. I think it was after the 7-1 loss. It was like, you can tell he's not in the headspace that he was in last year. He was giving kind of like canned answers, but it's all like, we know we're a good team. We're going to make it work. We just have to get our stuff clicking together, and, we'll get through this. It's just a little bit of a slump. It's like, that's not the way he was talking last year. And
Okay, fair. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I've seen him on the ice with chipped teeth, looking up at the screens, just like, it's gonna happen. I gotta keep going. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's so frustrating. As us, though, staring at the TVs, saying, "What the heck are you doing? Just freaking go in the middle and throw it at the net. Stop going around the edges and doing weird, trying to be super skillful things.
They don't look like they're having fun.
Just throw it at the net."
Dan, I think you nailed it. They don't look like they're having fun. They don't look like they're
They
having
look
the
like
fun
they're
that
under
they were
so
having last
much
season.
pressure. Yeah.
They look
They
stressed.
look stressful. Yeah, exactly.
You know what frustrates
Are we
me?
stressed?
I'm
a little
stressed. I'm
You guys feel stressed?
A lot of my stresses are external, as are Dan's probably, but the Leafs are not helping.
yeah, that's fair.
I mean the Leafs. You guys can leave your personal lives at home.
I am currently at home, Craig.
I'm stressed watching the games like I felt stressed watching the games back in the we really had no goaltending and we're really unsure of that. You know when
Vesatovska.
I don't wanna pick-
Vesatoskala.
I was going to go with Reimer, but I didn't want to pick on Reimer.
Bernier?
Yeah,
Bernier,
Bernier.
yeah.
Who was before Bernier, other than Reimer?
Shiger.
Oh
Oh yeah, that was
we
supposed
had him for a
to
bit.
go well. That didn't
Yeah.
go well.
It went well
it's
for
'cause
half
he'd just
a
come
season.
off that playoff
and then-
tear.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm just stressed watching the games now, and it's not. Well, I mean, obviously you're stressed out if you're watching a losing team that is your favorite team, but
Yeah.
I just don't go into the game feeling confident right now, and I don't think they are either.
Yep. Game 2, at the very, very end, after the 7th goal was scored, Simmons and Brian Boyle, who used to play for the Leafs, did fight. And I'm
Woohoo.
really surprised.
7-1.
Something, sure,
Who
but it
cares?
sent a little bit of a message. Richie also dropped the gloves. Nothing came of it. I don't know why that
Noticed
didn't
that.
happen in Carolina as well. Where's the physical response that gets the team going? Like Carolina, the loss was 4-1. One of them was an empty net. You can come back from 3-1. Oh God.
Where was that fight at 3-1?
Which one? What?
Where was Simmons fighting at 3-1? Why was it 7-1?
Yeah.
But see, it shouldn't take a fighter to bring a little bit of life back into the team. They should be able to.
Shouldn't.
Unfortunately,
It
it
does.
Get us back.
Yeah. Think back to game 1 last year. They were down 2-1. Simmons fought. They come back. How many times did Simmons fight last year? Not that many times. Think back to the playoffs
don't
before
disagree
that
with you.
against Columbus. Guess who fought? Jason Spezza.
Spezza.
Guess what happened? They scored 3 goals in 5 minutes to come back in that game. They lost, but they still managed to score 3 goals and come back in that game. These guys seem like they just need
I think
to.
they were separate games, but yeah.
Oh, okay, whatever. It's like I said, time is relative and a blur. But these guys just seem like they need their freaking hands held to say, go and play hockey. Like they
Yeah.
need.
You
know,
can't rely on somebody to throw down and
I know.
spur the team that way.
But that's Spetz's job. That's Richie's job.
They need to
why
figure
they're
out how
going.
to
Where's Richie
motivate
then?
themselves.
Okay, I'll go with that one. You want to jumpstart Richie? Richie, go punch that guy.
Sure, something. It's something.
Now, one thing I did notice in the All or Nothing documentary, Foligno was one of his first games. Hey, was really joshing this one guy, and I can't remember who it was. And Keith was like, "I don't need you fighting that guy." And he's like, "Oh, why? I won't, but why?" I have a bad feeling Keith might be doing this too in this situation, which is weird because the guy says F this, F that, F this, that, and he seems so angry. Maybe that's all we got from the All or Nothing. But why? Why stop them? Dan, you seem to not like fights. Why do you think Keith might be stopping these guys, if my hypothesis is correct?
Because they can win it without it. They can do so well on the chemistry that these guys have, especially in the top 4. And well, I'll say the top 6. The chemistry these guys should have is fantastic. But it's about enjoying what you're doing and not being stressed going into the games. If Keith's holding them back from fighting, it's because he knows that they can get it done with shots on goal and goals. But that's not happening either. So I don't know. Who knows, man?
Okay, here's my question to you. When you go to a hockey game, not watch a hockey game, go to a hockey game, and you see your guy win a fight, what do you do?
Of course, you cheer, you scream, and you denounce the other team.
Excellent. What do the players on the bench do?
They tap their... Yeah, I know. It gets everyone going.
Boom. It
but
gets
that
everyone
shouldn't
going.
need to be the case.
But it leads
These guys
to
are
having
top-level
fun.
professional hockey players.
Leads to having fun,
Yeah, it
like
leads
you
to
just
fun.
said they are not having.
Yeah.
If
fair
that's
enough.
if that's the jump start they need to do all the things that you mentioned and were completely right about, if that's the jump start they need, why have we not jump started the car yet?
That's fair. If that's what the team needs to get it going, then yeah, Simmons fuck. I'd love to see Marner throw down just to get some, a little bit of
That would be the
spice
best
and
thing
variety
ever.
in there.
But
Although
also
he'd
terrifying.
probably get killed. But
Oh yeah, he wouldn't walk away.
if they need a spark, sure, go for it. But it shouldn't be something that you need to rely on to drive the team's success, especially late in the season.
And I don't think it needs to happen every time. It just maybe definitely absolutely needs to happen after a 4-game losing streak.
Well, yeah, I think we're probably going to see something soon.
Yeah. Whew. Engvall still sucks. Okay, can take that away.
Yeah.
He had a couple good games, and then
Yeah.
he went back into his old kind of his habits, I'll call them.
He did.
Okay. Do the Leafs feel slower this year?
Yeah, everything feels slower. Everything
feels
feels
slower.
just disconnected.
Except for Bunting and Kerfoot and Marner.
But are they
Even Nylander. Nylander gets on his horse a bit.
yes, but do they just overall the team feels slower? And I think that might be because we don't have Mikheyev. Yes, he doesn't
Okay.
Yeah,
necessarily
good point.
bring an offensive. He's not going to score goals, but when he's on the ice, the team has the puck more often. He makes the guys work a little bit harder because of his speed and that long stick. He might not be able to do anything with it, but he takes away time from guys. And by having Nick Ritchie on the ice, guys just have time. You're just not pressuring in the same way.
But the Leafs always have the puck.
Yeah, puck's possession isn't our problem. It's keeping that possession.
You're right.
Not turning
Yeah.
it over, not getting pinched. And
Or is that
backing
because
up
they're
your
slow?
goalie.
Do they always have the puck because they're slow?
They just hold it back in our own end.
They're not fast with the puck and therefore potentially passing it faster, and they're just like, okay, I got the puck. We're going to go down the ice. There goes the red line. There goes the blue line. Offside. Oops.
I am seeing a lot of indecision when they finally get set up in the zone. The defensemen aren't necessarily going for those point shots as they have been in the past. They're going for more. They're going for more the tic-tac-toe passing plays, and it's not working. So in that case, for me, yeah, definitely they're slower.
Dan, I commend you for finishing that sentence.
Yeah, I stumbled for a second there.
I'm having a laugh attack here. I don't know why that was so funny.
We're delirious. We're just delirious.
No, it's
Should
because we
we-
just drink all day right now, isn't it? Oh, you guys don't drink all day?
Should we just move
I
on
got
from
one more. I
straight
got
up-
one more.
Okay,
One more
okay.
thing. And I mentioned it last podcast or the podcast before, the 50 before that or something. They had an offensive zone face-off in the Carolina game, and it seemed like, I think it was end of the second period, like now's the time sort of stuff. And they throw out all the top guys. It looked like a power play. Botched face-off. Riley pinched. 2-on-1 the other way. Automatic goal. I can't remember what you guys said, but is the loading up not working? And they do it throughout the game. Matthews, Marner, Nylander. Tavares, Matthews, Marner. And whatever amount of permutations. What?
I can only
I
think
mean,
of
it's
one time.
clearly not working.
I can only think of one time it worked, and that was that Columbus game that I was talking about from the playoffs. Only time it ever worked. And then they tried
Who
to
scored the third goal?
Hyman.
Hyman.
Yep.
In front of the net,
Don't
bashing
bring him
away
up.
at the puck.
Yep. You're right.
I don't know.
I-
I don't know.
it doesn't seem like it really works.
But it's still happening.
It should.
And it should.
It should.
And maybe it's just Keefe and Dubas saying, "Go do. We paid you. We got rid of Babcock. You guys like Keefe, I guess. It's your fault now. Go do it."
Yeah.
Excellent answers. I agree entirely because I am right.
Yeah. I can argue. Yep.
Okay. Also, Freddie, why are you good in October for a different team and not the Leafs?
Yeah,
Thanks
you saw the stats too last night?
I'm not impressed,
Oh,
especially
that was
because I bid on him a little
brutal.
bit in fantasy, but didn't go for it. I went for Mrazek instead, who got injured. Good idea, Kyle.
The last 4 years, he was something like 860, and now he's over 910 or something like that. Like, come on, Freddie.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to play 66 games again this season. For sure. And it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's going to win a Vezina.
And they're going to
Oh
the
my
cup.
God! Please, no.
Hot
No,
takes right now.
Not that. Please, not that.
You can grill a steak on these hot takes.
We had another comment on one of our posts. Dan's mom commented.
Oh,
it was on
actually.
Instagram.
What? Oh, was it actually Dan's mom?
Oh, Dan's mom did comment on one of them,
Yeah.
but
Oh, okay.
we had a comment.
Do the
on
other one.
Instagram. 5 out of 7 commented on our question asking, "Do you think Jack Campbell is still the goalie that can lead us to the Leafs? Sorry, lead the Leafs to success, not us, because we are already successful. The Leafs to success." 5 out of 7 says, "For sure he can. We just have the most injury-prone goalie lineup possible." And then the upside down smiley face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bring back Bunting.
Yep.
Yep. 5 out of 7. You are right.
Yeah,
I believe he was
nailed
one
it.
of our interviewees. And Campbell's not injured yet. That's good.
As far as we know.
True. Because he has not looked great overall in any of those games. And we posted this for the, not even the 7-1 game. That was before the 7-1 game where he let in 5 goals and then Hutchinson let in everything.
Yeah, I mean, Campbell's like save percentage is still over 900. He's still doing well. It's that game that really threw everything off.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think? Still our guy or no?
Oh yeah, I'm Team Campbell for sure.
Oh, for sure. There was a fair amount of those goals on Campbell that were not his fault. They went off legs. They
Agreed.
went off sticks. They ramped up. It was an unfortunate game that a lot of things went wrong in front of him, but I wouldn't blame a whole lot on him.
Okay.
He's my soup.
I don't know sure how I feel about that. Maybe just because it always happened to Luongo, and that's like, it's almost like sacred to me.
Really, anybody with the name Ooh in their name, it happens.
Yeah, basically. Okay, and last thing on the Leafs, I think, maybe, probably not. Does a move need to happen? And there are many moves that could happen. A player move, a coach move, a GM move, a GM president coach player move.
I'm hearing more about GM moves, which kind of is scary.
So who do you think is on the chopping block, and or do you think a move will motivate the team? Like, is there a good move to do? Let's start with Dan.
I think a move is probably on the chopping block, and I think maybe Richie might be there. Is it something that's going to motivate the team? No, I don't think so. You'd never want to trade because you suck and you're trying to get better. You want to trade because things are going well and you want to bring on somebody like Foligno for the end of the season to really round out the depth of your team. That's a good trade. That's a motivating trade. Trying to, balance something because your lines aren't working and trading for that, I think that's definitely going to bring the team down. So my guess would be Richie, and I would hope it. I would not want to see a trade right now. I'd want to see them try and figure it out.
Figure it out.
I think if shit continues to go sideways for another 5 games, these next 2 games are going to be really telling. Against Chicago and against Detroit, if those games do not go well, if they lose those 2 games, I think we need to start talking about the trading Riley situation again. And what if I were Kyle Dubas, what I would be asking for is a high-end defensive prospect for him a high-end goalie prospect, and a pick. I don't even care where the pick is. High-level pick.
But is Riley
I think they need some sort of goalie prospect, someone who can be a third goalie that can play for the Marlies and can come up and down, that is waiver exempt. Because the other two guys are too injured, and Hutchinson is a non-option going forward this season.
Fine.
And can they fit?
But I'm more worried about...
I was going to say, they can't grab a goalie from the waiver wire because it's going to be the same situation.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
I mean, Riley, yes, the pension is an issue, and hopefully that gets under control. But he still looks good in the offensive zone, which is weird to say. But we've had 18 goals against us in the last 4 games. He is one of 3 players on the team with a positive plus-minus. That at least says something about whether or not all of this is his fault.
I'm not talking about his play.
I'm
not saying you need to trade him because he's a terrible
he's
player.
Worth it.
Because his contract is up, and they need to send a message to this core that you're not all safe. You can't all just do whatever the fuck you want and go out and play for 41 games a season. That if you don't, we're going to fucking trade somebody, and this team is going to look different, and how much fun is that going to be?
And he has the most value right now.
That's value right now.
Yeah, you're not going to get much for Hall.
And honestly, it's one season. Even if the Leafs, like, he's not making a whole lot. If the Leafs retain 25% of that and ship him off to who the fuck cares, Colorado, and...
I care about that one. What? That would suck.
Why? It's one season. They might not even be able to re-sign him.
Yeah, fair.
That's where he's going to go. He's going to go to someone who's going to want to make a deep run. It's going to be a Colorado. It's going to be a Vegas. It's going to be... I don't know. Letang's out. Pittsburgh can use a defenseman.
Pittsburgh, maybe. Carolina. Well, they got enough of those.
Florida.
You know, just looking at the stats, though, does it not seem like all the teams that were really struggling last year are doing well, and all the teams that came out of the regular season, like, heads up, are just shitting the bed? It's
yes,
kind of
and we're
ironic.
going to talk about that. You're only one segment ahead of me, Dan. That's good.
Sorry.
Because I have yet to rebut Craig on the craziness he just said about Morgan Riley.
Fair enough.
Sorry, the Morgan Riley trade. Because Morgan Riley is the correct person to trade. And I don't want to repeat what a lot of other, news places or networks or whatever are saying. But I agree he's the best trade that we have. Sends the best message, is going to yield the best return. I like Craig's idea about getting a third goalie that is waiver exempt. Really, really good idea. The rest of it, oh God, a pick? Don't need that. That's fine. We need somebody to replace Riley, like maybe at least on the third line. You could put Sandine up to replace Riley. You could put Dermott up maybe to
a
replace
defensive
Riley.
Prospect.
But not prospect.
Well, like a high-end prospect.
I want Bogosian. I want that. I want security on the second, third line potentially. Maybe that risks the pick. Like it's a third string goalie that is waiver exempt and a defenseman that nobody's coming to mind right now. Heck, what? PK freaking Subban, half retained, 25% retained somewhere else.
Wait a second here. You know who would be a great trading partner right now? The Seattle Kraken. They are full of defense. They are full on goalies, and they've got all the money space in the world. They've got high draft picks. They can take on that contract. Morgan Riley would be more than happy to do it. I don't know if he's got a no-move clause or if got any sort of clause in his contract, but he's from BC. Sure, he'd be more than happy to go out west. Now, Kyle, I see you're looking. Who do they have for goalies?
Yep.
Like, they're not going to get Drieger. He's too high unless they can trade Mrazek with it, maybe. Or
it would
Campbell
have to
for
be
the
Joey
season.
Decord.
Is Joey Decord worth coming back in a Riley trade?
Yes, 100%.
There we go. That could be our third goalie, and he could be the goalie of the future.
Hold. Oh, also, Antoine Bibeau. Bring him back, boys. Bring him back.
Did he get one game with the Leafs?
I don't know.
I think he got one game. We got absolutely shelled. Or I might just be thinking of literally every other Marlies goalie.
I would take a Fleury. I would take a Hayden Fleury and or a Cale Fleury.
Oh, one of the Flurries.
I would take one of those two from Seattle, and that might fit what you were saying, that they're a prospect / they could fit in the lineup. Jeremy Lozon, I could potentially take him.
They're
That
full
was
of
from-
defensemen. They're full of young,
from Boston.
big defensemen.
Okay.
How much is
But-
Alexiak making? I just signed. Never mind.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, no trade clause.
4.6.
Yeah. I'm gonna say.
It would have to be Giordano, but they put the C on him.
What about like a Vince
and
Dunn? Is he proven enough?
He's their best player right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not happening. I don't mind this idea.
They seem
But
like they're going to be a good trading partner.
It can't be too much of a prospect. Like up and comer, we've got high hopes for you. No. I want someone who can fit in the lineup and take over Sandin's spot or take over Dermott's spot, because one of those guys is going up to replace Riley and potentially on the first power play as well. Or Muzzin. Put Muzzin on the first power play.
Sandin looks better playing beside Brody than he does look beside Dermott or Liljegren.
Agreed. 100%. Whew. I love doing trade stuff. That's fun. It's a good time. Sorry, Riley. Moving on to what Dan mentioned before. The rest of the league is fun. Just going to name off a couple standings that are already happening right now. We've already ripped into the Habs a little bit. They did win a game. Well done.
Yeah,
to
their last game. Congratulations.
The Haberdasheries. Great job. 1-5 for the Habs. If you do not remember, they went to the Stanley Cup final last year. Another team that went to the Stanley Cup final last year and won, the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are 2-3-1. But
And
one of
3 in a
those
row losses.
Oh, God. One of those threes was against the Buffalo Sabres in a drubbing 5-1 loss. Fun.
But everyone's losing to Buffalo right now.
Yeah, that's messed up. Mild, slow start from the Islanders, 3-2-1. They went to the conference finals. Another conference final team, the Vegas Golden Knights, bottom of the Pacific Division. That was the shoo-in for the Pacific. They are 1-4-0, and Leonard is not having a good time. That's not good. And the Leafs' next team that they are facing, the Chicago Blackhawks, 0-5-1. No wins yet, which automatically means that the Leafs are going to lose to them on Wednesday, and they'll get their first win.
That's pretty much guaranteed at this point, isn't it?
That is set in stone. It's from the Lords.
Oh,
above.
God, we're so broken.
Oh,
We are so broken. Arizona hasn't won yet either, but nobody thought that, that wasn't going to happen. So that's fine there. Buffalo, 4-1-1. Detroit, 3-2-1. They look really good for some reason. Columbus, 4-2-1. They were supposed to be bad. Dallas has come back. San Jose, who recently beat the Leafs, 4-1-0. Aiden Hill and James Reimer are on a tear right now. What the heck is happening?
They also played Ottawa and Montreal.
Okay, fine.
So
And the Leafs.
yeah.
And
I
won convincingly, for sure.
yes.
Dan, you started this. What?
I got nothing, man. Like, I'm expecting all the teams that are doing poorly right now to be top of the divisions, and they're not. So, in a couple instances, as you were saying, it's goalie issues. I wouldn't necessarily say that's the Leafs' issue right now. I think it's a combination of. Actually, you know what? For me right now, what's going on with the Leafs is a combination of goalie issues, a combination of confidence, and a combination of defensive lacking. But in terms of the rest of the league, I didn't expect this from the Habs. Having Price out at the start of the year, yeah, that's a hit to the confidence. That's a big blow to the team. But, they've still got a decent goalie backup system, and it's just not making it work. So
I think Weber is actually the bigger loss because
Is-
they've been
yeah,
without Price for
Shea Weber's,
extended
for
periods
sure.
of time. They're,
As I didn't I call it that Ben Sherratt was going to look lost?
no idea.
He's looked lost. I think what we're seeing is just teams not meeting our expectations one way or another. Because you said Detroit 3-2-1 and having a great season. New York Islanders are 3-2-1, yet they're doing poorly.
Okay.
So it really comes down to what our expectations were of these teams, and that's what's flip-flopped. Teams that we expected to do poorly are doing better than we expected, and teams that we expected to do well are just performing poorly. And that makes sense because someone's got to play somebody. And eventually, over the course of an 82-game season, this weird shit is going to balance itself out somewhere, except for Florida. Florida is going to win the President's Trophy somehow. Joe Thornton is going to win his cup with the Florida Panthers. Think of that.
Oh, that'd be sad.
Sergei Bobrovsky has come back. He likes to take a couple years off sometimes, and then he likes to come back and just be like, I also know how to goalie, and he's been doing well and giving Spencer Knight some relief for sure. Okay, thank you, Craig, for the obvious answers that are definitely right. I have some other more fun answers to this question. All the good teams still have playoff injuries that are lingering, potentially Muzzin. They're very fatigued because they had a shorter offseason, not only this year, but the previous year to that.
True.
So that's kind of a human thing. The one that we've mentioned several times is that the regular season doesn't matter as long as you make the playoffs. And maybe that's in the heads of some of these teams that have made the playoffs several times in a row. The Leafs, the Bruins, the Islanders, the Lightning. Maybe not the Habs because they're going through some other stuff. Maybe that's just in their heads a little bit. It's like, oh, we really got to focus on the playoffs, and they're not even focusing on winning games.
I would like to think that was true as well, but here's the one thing again we keep mentioning: playoff habits. Are we seeing playoff habits with the Leafs? With that,
Interestingly,
how many turnovers?
I don't know if you saw this from Keefe. I don't know if you saw this from Keefe in the previous game.
No.
Keefe thought the Leafs did have those playoff habits against Carolina.
Of all the games, I think they looked the best against Carolina.
That was a rough one.
Yeah.
For the first, maybe the end of the third. But I thought that was interesting that Keefe did say that. Continue, Craig. Sorry.
I was just going to say, is this proof that we just don't know anything about hockey and we should just pack up and call it a night?
Okay. Let's not say we did. This is fun. I'm having fun. Are you having fun? I'm having fun.
Craig's just sad. He's going through a sad streak with the Leafs.
sad.
His emotions ride with the
He's
Leafs.
always sad about the Leafs. He's not always sad.
No,
He's
just
always sad
emotions
about the
ride
Leafs.
with the hockey team.
With the hockey team. Yeah. Mine definitely do. It's hilarious.
It is dangerous how much they do. Clinical, maybe.
Fair enough. Last potential theory about two teams in the league, one being the Leafs and one being Chicago, of why they might be having a slow start. And it's just kind of like a looming, like a thing that's happening. So the Leafs had the All or Nothing documentary. So it was kind of all out there. Especially Keefe and especially Dubas, that's fine. And there's a lot of reactions to it. There's a lot of social media engagement. That's looming over the Leafs. That all of their losses, all their shortcomings, all of their vulnerability is out there. And they know that now. I feel like that is affecting them. I think it was Elliot Friedman, 32 Thoughts podcast, mentioned that as well. I think it's a real thing. Chicago hasn't won a game yet. Their coach was booed in their first game. A home opener. Chicago investigation was ongoing at the beginning of the year. That stuff came out today. I've read a third of it. I'm horrified. I'm sure the players are more horrified, and some of them were on the team, the Stanley Cup team in 2010. So they have a potential general idea of what went down. And everything's just come out. I feel like a lot of this outside pressure is affecting some of these teams, and some of that outside pressure is not affecting the teams that have no expectation. Buffalo, Red Wings, Sharks.
But shouldn't Buffalo have the outside pressure because of the Eichel situation? Like, shouldn't that be hanging over their head like a dark cloud? And they should be at the bottom of the standings.
Yeah. Okay. I'll concede to that.
No, but I think you're right, Kyle. I think it's definitely like the All or Nothing did definitely. If you're a Leafs fan, yeah, you got to enjoy the players that you like watching on the ice, and you got to learn a little bit about them and kind of get into their lives a little bit. but it also gave everybody else on every other team something to talk about. And the pressure on Toronto is immense. If they don't make the playoffs this year, it's going to be everyone that hates the Leaf was right, and they're just going to come crashing down on us. It's going to be a really bad situation. So I think the pressure's definitely getting to them for sure.
The only thing I can guess is that COVID actually won. We're all dead, and we're just in the bad place.
You're not wrong.
Well, that's positive, Craig. Who brought the good news bear?
It seems like
As much money.
just seems like the most plausible explanation at this point, doesn't it?
As much money as these players do make, like COVID has still affected them for sure.
Oh yeah.
Different weird circumstances. A lot of the COVID protocols may not seem to make as much sense as a player, but it's all perception and whatnot. Why isn't this happening to you? Why is this happening to me? So on and so on. It's all about stuff like that. So just throwing that out there. Don't forget to leave a comment when we post about this stuff. Do you think some of these reasons are contributing to some of the more offensive or better-ish teams in the past couple of years are having a bit of a slump? Okay. Wow. Not having an outline is intense, at least for me. But our last thing that we're going to do is let's make a bet. Last week, it was something about Hutchinson. Is he going to win? What was his save percentage? And what was his goals against? The second two things didn't matter because Craig said he was going to lose. And guess what? He lost. So
Yay.
Craig wins the
Spectacular fashion.
Craig wins the second bet. So Dan, you get the third bet. What are we going for today?
Okay, gentlemen. So I want to talk about the penalty kill. It's the only thing that's really working right now on the Leafs in my mind. Somehow we're able to kill penalties better than the average in the league, and the penalty kill is actually looking pretty good right now. Both. So here's the bet. I want you to guess the percentage over the next two games for the penalty kill. We've been taking a lot of penalties in the last few games, if you guys have noticed. A few really dumb penalties.
In the offensive zone.
A few penalties that shouldn't be penalties that you've watched the replay and you're like, yeah, they just hate the Leafs. But
Also a lot of stupid penalties.
A lot of stupid penalties, but a couple hooking calls that were like, really? Did he really touch him? But anyway, so I want you to guess the percentage over the next two games. We're playing two more American teams, Chicago being one of them, who hasn't won. Is this going to be Chicago trying to do as we're maybe hoping to do and start a big fight in order to get back into the stand-ins as everyone else wants to? Or do you think everyone plays it clean? What do you guys think?
Sorry, I was just thinking about how much I hate this team right now, and I was only half listening to the question. But I think they're going to be over 90% on the penalty kill.
So 90%?
Yeah, I'll say 90%.
90%.
Did that answer the question?
Yes.
Yep, that works.
I'm looking at the stats right now because, you got to get some info. As of right now, they are 87.5% on the penalty kill. I think they are going to underperform that, and I will say closest without going over, I'm going to go 82%, which would really suck, but,
Yeah, that, especially in two games. But I'm going to say 92%. I think they're going to overperform, and I'm just going to edge Craig out a little bit just in case. So it's either going to be me that wins or Kyle that wins at this point. But
unless it's 90.
Unless it's 90. But I think, the penalty kill is working well. If there's something consistently going to work, I'm hoping it's that.
Gotcha. I only said 82 because I thought you were going to say like 85 or 87. I'm like, close without going over. Come on. 1%. Oh, God. Anything else to rant about our sorrows, gentlemen? Guess not.
Go Leafs, go.
Oh, I love the question mark on the end. Go Leafs, go. No, guys, we're 7 games into the season. There's 82 games in the season. We're not far in. There's a lot of hockey to go. And even, I'm quoting from Marner right now. I'm pretty much channeling his interview. after the 7-1. But, there's a lot of hockey to go. This is not a big deal. We'll get it back.
They lost 2 Game 7s in 1 year, Dan. Okay? What the heck?
Yeah, but I don't. As a Leaf fan, you have to discount anything that happened in the past, right?
I'm gonna put that on a plaque. You have to discount everything that happened in the past. That's fun. Play the music.
Goddamn Leafs.